Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and one of the coaches at TradeGATEHub, sponsored by TradeView Markets. That's what that's what it is, and we want to get both in there. There'd be no TradeGATEHub without TradeView Markets, that's for sure. So, good morning. Okay, so it is a Friday. It was a shortened week. We came in very bullish, being Tuesday. Tuesday, I believe, was the end of the month, and they had, they ran. There was up, there was window dressing, if you will. They wanted to be part of everything into the end of the month. They shrugged off a couple economic numbers, being Wednesday. Yesterday was a very nice day, and we'll go to our indicators in a second. And to no surprise, there's a pullback. It's arguable how deep it is even at the moment, or how sustainable it is. Even as we sit here today, there are places to hide. There's a little bit more red than I would like, but there's enough green to say that maybe things are just kind of just not evening out a little bit. But you know what? This is a time where, first of all, as I just told everybody, I'm transferring to a new platform. I've been on the Rhino Trader for 9+ years, and I'm trading over to another TradeView platform, which I gave you a peek at before. So it's a little bit more tedious of a process. I apologize if the transition has come at your expense, but I'm not really actively trading. As a matter of fact, if you run TradeGATEHub this morning, you see I was very, I don't, for lack of a better term, I was feeling guilty that I wasn't really putting in a lot of active trades, which I'm not. I have my the fund up, but I wanted to articulate, at least make up for something of it. And you know what? We made a lot of great points, uh, a lot of good points that was specific today. Lewis pointed out about the airlines, and it had good guidance, and maybe it was a buy there. It was definitely a very good thought, and I understood that. But and it was right in thinking that way, because Microsoft did the same thing yesterday. It was down 8 points at one time. I think it finished up $1, if you will, give or take. You get the point. But things change by day by day. But I appreciate everybody's alertness. So what it was a shortened week, and you know what? And let me sign in TradeGATEHub here, because then I can get to a couple of specific points. Everybody can tell, the data that I put out is an amalgamation of high level people that I trust and that my peers trust, and that what got us here. And if I do spend a little bit more time, maybe edifying my points, and maybe what Helene says or some other people say, or even backing the coach up, it's just because I, you know what I mean? There's so many different styles. I have a different style than most. Well, within most, it's like, I have, the point being is I want you to trust the data and the process, and for you to develop your own style here. We always say we're a sports arena. You know what I mean? You're in the arena. I'm not telling you that you should play lacrosse or football or baseball or soccer. You know what I mean? At least you're in there. Develop it from there. But we're putting you on a professional high level. We're giving you the ball, and we definitely want you to run to it. So let's go in here. TradeView Market site looking better than ever. This is the same preference. This is the same way I log in, same as everybody else. And believe me, I want to make it an easiest process as possible, so we can just fire away. Actually, to get good morning, coach. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I wanted to make a couple of other points, but specifically coming in today, which is a little after 11 Eastern, as I said. Oh, hold on a second. I digress. I do want to give a shout out, if you will, to my nephew, Jack, who is 16 years old, and he watches me, that watches TradeGATEHub in his study hall in school. And he's been telling me that he told me last evening we were for dinner, and he's been watching our videos, including the coaches, for a couple of weeks now. And he has them all pinned, and has a lot of good questions. He's not only watching as a nephew, but he's watching as a fan. So we have a young viewer in here. Eventually, he's going to be hopefully participating, but asking questions like what his passions are, and what type of companies that he wants to do. So I'm proud of Jack. Thanks for being in the room. Thanks for also telling my sister to watch my language, and I will. So welcome aboard, Jack. And just like everybody else, stick with the process. You know what I mean? It's not going to be overnight. And for what we do at a high level in this lifestyle, it shouldn't be that way. The last cliche the day before we get into specific things, the best views do come from the hardest climbs. And trust me, I fell, I tripped, I broke my toe a couple of times on a couple of rocks, but you know what I mean? Everybody's got to take a beating every once in a while, is a famous line in a movie. I do believe that to a degree. How much of a beating is up to you. Okay, so let's get back to the hard data. All right. Uh, Same process as usual. Now, what I also wanted to make a point was today being Friday, we started, the coach actually did a video, I believe on Monday, if not Tuesday. This week could be, I mean, this is a webcast, whatever you want to call it. Go back to our YouTube button, the red button. I call it the red button, almost like the green door. And go through even you can break it down week by week. So look at our videos. One day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, Coach and I put out one every day. Don't put out one on Thursday, but I'm going to start just because nobody's asking me to. I want to feel like I'm keeping up. I'm going to do them. So all our videos throughout the week, even start from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's almost become a short story this week so far. And I'm going to, I kind of treat it like that one. It helps me keep focus. I'm not the type of trader where I'm not that black and white. And believe me, it's a very good method of people who do it. It's actually a lot easier of a method. But for me, I also want to learn, I want reasons to why I do things. I just don't, there's another way to do it and I can appreciate that. And that's going here. And that's every day, just being empirical, just picking stocks with, here you go. Yesterday's movers with high, with good range and good volume. There's no surprise that Chewy had a $5 range yesterday. And it normally trades 7 million shares. It traded 48 million shares. So you know what? A guy that could just say, okay, the futures are down. Hold on. Let me share a screen. It's my screen. So the futures could be down, and they were this morning. And Chewy finished up $5, right? Yesterday. Hold on. Let me give you a chart of Chewy. Right, that was Chewy. 40 million. Stock was 2 days ago was 23. Yeah, okay, so it was 29. So the future opened down lower. Chewy closed. This broken line here is where it closed, 29. People say, wow, Chewy was strong yesterday. I think I'll buy this down $1.20. Stock actually went positive. You can be that empirical and let it go. So if that's what you want to do, I also post that type of data. That's actually what kind of got me here. But what I was saying is I do post that data. My point being is that there were a lot of other mentions today where they could have tipped your hand, and there were tells. Let me go back to the data for a second. Pardon. All right, so we are to Friday, and what the trader markets told us yesterday is that, I actually want to go back to this because this was a good point again, and it's where I still sit today, and I'll get to the point of where the fund sits. I haven't taken anything. I've taken some things off. I rotated a little bit. I rotated a little bit. I'm waiting for the second. I'm waiting for more long term. I'll work backwards. Long term, I'm waiting for more confirmation. We have some nice cushions, and with Mark's, you know what? We're posting such good data that we can't even go back that far, but that's okay though. And this was today's data. The last thing that I'm going off a couple of tangents. I do apologize. Just listen, when you're up at 4 and it's 11 a.m., 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I already have 7 hours of data already in there. I'm getting pinged left and right. So let's go here. You know what? I'll just get back to it. We came in short-term sentiment. If you've been watching all week, I know what I was saying. Get to the red YouTube button. It's almost where we are today, even afterwards. And I'm going to go back and press it myself to get better at why I even went off on a tangent. Don't mean to waste your time. This is a short story, and this video, as we sit here, 11:15, if you will, is almost the ending. Going into Friday, nothing has really changed with inflation. Nothing has changed with the war. It's yet to be determined if this is the actual the dead cat bounce, the short bear rally, or once again, I think that's on a if I digress, I think actually that's a crowded thought, which maybe keep us higher. But and that's how I'm thinking, and I'm going to play it only if it's given that way. The market will tell me if my opinion is right. My opinion is not going to. It's not going to work the other way. So let's get into specifics. We're overbought to a degree, but the fear and greed is still low. So to me, that tells me that people are buying that is still dip buying more than selling rallies. To me, I don't think I'm alone. The credit default swaps also say the same thing. Well, they'll look at the exposure, correlate to the charts. Anytime it gets extreme, market goes up, extreme up, extreme. Well, if you condense it, it says that way. Micron downgrades, says the whole group is down. Give me a break. So what did Gerard say? Where's Western Ditch? You know what? Western Ditch doesn't even have any volume today. I'm surprised at that. Where's MU? MU's down 6 now. The forced selling by hedge funds. You have to look. Nice trade, coach. I posted a bunch of stocks that had earnings today, so I didn't want to go. I didn't want to, give too much. I didn't want to. I was trying to convey more this morning how I was thinking, because I wasn't doing anything actively as MU breaks slow and does a big volume print, and that there was a lot of FOMO, a lot of fear, and there were a lot of different things to do, including Tesla had news, inside days. Good morning. We had some really good communication, and you know what? I'm not really doing much, and I'm really just stepping back and looking at setting up the platform. It's just that type of day to me. And there's always another trade, and just go back to what I posted this morning. And like American Airlines had news and updates their guidance, and Lewis says let's buy the airlines, but I made a point of it's not acting very positively into that news, and that's basically what the market's been telling you. It hasn't really been trading much of stocks, that is, on technicals. The ES has been, but it's really about how stocks are acting to good and bad news of staking things. They are day to day, unfortunately, but that's really it's been playing a lot of sentiment. Any other questions or any questions? A lot of participation this morning. You know what? If you went back and looked at the hard data in the room, under the main room, it's probably a little bit better than the webcast. I apologize. I'm trying to go back, just go through specific trades. Tim posted this morning, monster days all week. There's no denying it. You know what I mean? And if I'm a little bit off, maybe I deserve it for a second. There's the platform I'm setting up. So get used to this platform. I traded on before, and quite honestly, I'm looking to trade on it again. I like it. So you'll be seeing that. Get used to it. XBI baby, or the big guy. Great trades this week. This week. Tim, ASAN. This is the stock, Lewis, right? ASAN. You could have gotten this cheaply. I think I did get it cheap. ASAN. I think I have some of it still. I traded ASAN. Okay, right? My trades, even though I was trading in the delayed, where I buy it, 21.50. Sold at 22.80, made $1.50. I'm in what? What else am I in? IoT. I'm going to hold it. IoT. Listen, this is the stock. IoT. I was the only one in America buying IoT this morning at 10.10. Hold on, let me see if I'm sharing the screen correctly. Yeah, at least I do that. Okay, only one. I got the little print on IoT with the blah. This is how I used to. You know why I like? This is a microcosm of what I like. Of a stock with listen, it's a little bit on the thin side, but I like price action, range, and good volume. And this IoT, granted it was a 15-minute time frame, was what I do. So I like the stock long term. I do, and I like the fact that the Nasdaq got killed. I like it had a lot of different breaks like that, and I like it's still above the moving averages and hold there. You know what? This is going to turn into a position for me. I think I got some. What am I down? I have 58. My average price is 11.31. I think I bought it last night a little bit earlier. So what is it now? 10.18. My average price is 11.40. I like it. It's IoT I'm in. But let me see. What's another one that we trade? Oh, you know what, Lewis? I got to commend you on your stock picking, and it looks good too. Let's go to Lennar. Coach, another one. Home builders. Now, as we know, a lot of stuff, these can change, this type of chart can flip drastically in a day or two, but there's certainly, I don't care what it is, I always joke that they can make widgets. So this Lennar chart, the home builder, and I know Coach was calling home builders maybe 3 weeks ago, if I remember, 2-3 weeks ago. I apologize if I wasn't on point, Coach, but Coach was on home builders. Go back to the red button anytime this week or 2 weeks ago. A good trade. So Lewis, I like the way the Lennar looks. A couple of things with Lennar. I could throw out, this is cliche week for me, because one thing you're not going to be short of in the room, and I don't think anybody's ever going to argue, is you're not going to be short of stock selection and know what to do. There's always going to be stock picking. I'm always going to share my universe. I'm always going to share with ancillary stocks. And quite honestly, if I can be frank here, when I post something like an Okta is moving good, the question everybody should use is Mike or CRWD. Gerard, good. Hold on. CRWD. Let's go to Gerard. Gerard, nice clean trader. CRWD opened at 166. They shook out the rookies who wanted to buy it on the open. So 166. This is why I love it. Volume tells the story, at least still on day trading. The stock, at least for the short term, capitulated, did the block. Everybody that got out, a guy probably waited, to go down to 166, hit everybody's stop orders all at once, and did the print. And it was the same with IoT. IoT did the same thing. There's the bottom print. The largest volume was the bottom, the temporary bottom. I could name a couple other things. I don't even have to look at what happened at stocks, but I bet what else reported today? That I could give an example at without cheating or looking. Let's look at hold on. Assign. Point. There you go, gents. Low print was the biggest block. Now, granted, you had to wait a little bit. Assign. So what am I? I'm still in 400 shares. My average price is 41.70. And the reason why I'm in 400 shares, I shouldn't even be on this platform yet. I'm just trying to watch things and get used to it. So that's where I am with the sign. Any other questions, guys? Lewis, the home builders look good. Not going to lie. AMD, you want to be a nice, clean trader? This is it. Stock, talking about being empirical, stock had good range, good volume, and good price action. And went to the upper level, upper channel, and you bought it in the hole. Another thing, see the biggest block? Another thing in the low. I'm looking for a big block now to put it in the low. Let's look at AMD on a weekly chart. Too short a time frame for me. Let's go to a monthly on AMD. AMD in the channel, same thing. Nothing. Listen, noted it's strong. It's still to me, it's in the danger zone. It could very, very, very easily go to the 200-day, which is the green bar, the money bar, whatever, 117. It could pull back to go back to 100. It's made a nice move on the volume. It needs to settle. This is the type of stock, again, no matter what the symbol is, it needs to settle. Thank you, Coach, too. Okay, appreciate that, Coach. I do. It means a lot. All right. What are the stocks that I post on TradeGATEHub when Tim, great trades on the U.S. I am, by the way, I hope this holds water. I'm learning more about Forex and currencies the past month than I have probably in the last 5 years. I'm trying to I give it an equal effort, but when it's right in front of you as your own craft is developing, you want to see what else is developing. It's infectious. So I applaud the coach to be having a great week as well and propelling me, and Tim for taking the time out to post. And by the way, he posts losers. So Tim, the first thing, you don't get to be at his level without having an ego. So Tim was posting all this week, and not to placate. Thank you. Made me better. Fear and greed, that's where we sit. So I'll update the indicators. There's going to be no short of stocks. Again, hold on. I'm sharing. TradeGATEHub. I'm sorry, guys. Tim was sharing all week. Let me go back to the trading room. BIOS the good. Creme red to green. That was yesterday. Now listen. Here you go. CRM should have been in everybody's notebook. Okay, why? Not because I'm on the screen. Why? Because CRM had fundamental news, great volume, and good price action. Correct? It broke through the 50-day, which was the holy grail for me, and Gerard would know this on at least the short-term swings. So it had great news, finished on the high, and tremendous volume. So a guy that just says, okay, CRM's on my list. Yesterday was a monster, finished at the high. Another thing is what you do. You bought creme in the hole. Stock closed at 188. And by the way, the fact that it only opened down $4 was bullish. If it opened down 12, I would have been more reluctant. Believe me, I wouldn't have been like, wow, creme isn't that really on sale? It's down 12, because it wouldn't have been. It would have been broke down the 50-day on its downside, and there would have been so many trapped longs as it opened, because it's finished strong yesterday. there have been so many trapped longs taking it long that if it went down to 12 and down 6, it would still have been a problem. Still would have been down 6. But it opens down 4. People said, all right, I think it's got it's got a chance. And it did the same thing. Stock went from 184 to 180. Well, you know what? It didn't have really that big of a move, $5 move, but the principle still held true. What else? Sava. I made the point about Sava, biotech. All right. The smoke, there's fire. 4 days ago, the stock had a range from 27 to 26 on news and big volume. All right. So with the smoke, there's fire. It has a history. Let me remove all parameters of popping and staying that way. So the bios are strong today, right? So I should say Sava is on my list because the stock has a $10 range and I'm an active trader. That's on I put that in my little box on my window of stocks that I want to keep my eye on. You guys know where I put it. It's on the bottom right. So the bios are hot today. So some smart dudes says, okay, here comes volume. And Sava had range and stock went from 27 to 34, up $4. What's that? A dog running around there. Get out of there. All right, so Sava. And look, by the way, you know why it makes sense? The chart's still good. The takeover candidate. Let me go back to a week on Sava. All right. I'd like to see it if it, first of all, people may be still stuck in it a little bit because they kept buying on the dip. So Sava, especially a weekend, if it goes above 31, it's on my list for me. I wouldn't expect it to be like popping on Monday if it's no buyout. I'm not saying buy anything for buyout, but the technicals hold, the volume holds, the bios are strong today. You know, everything played. I'm not saying it's a 5-star play, but it's on my, it's on the list. What else? Let's go to what the wise guys are doing. I got to wrap this up. No, I don't have to wrap it up. I think that whenever with the median of what everybody watches is under half an hour or something, they tell me. So I don't listen. Who am I? I go with statistics. I love stats. So I'll stick with those stats. SPY bearish, plug bearish, CGC bearish, Apple bearish. This is all in the last 4 minutes. DraftKings, snow bearish, UVXY probably calls. So they're going the VIX calls now, the bastards. I don't blame them over the weekend. Who wouldn't? This is the chart on the VIX breaking high in the day. Nothing. You know what I mean? Short cover. I mean, it's just taking protection. You know what? And after this run, as the Qs probably break low, bitches. I'm sorry, my nephew's on here. All right. So by the way, this is critical for the Qs. We're coming to the 8 and the 21 day. There's no volume on this pullback, right? And it should be. It's a Friday. So we have a bullish run, breaking above moving averages with the fear and greed still where it is. I'm not saying go into these growth stocks. I'm not saying to pile into this path. Path is still hanging in there. It's well off the lows. I mean, the stock's 15, 20% off the lows. Let's look at Apple. Now in the fund. All right, I'm in the fund. I got Apple nicely. Should I be flinching? Should I be pissed? It goes from 1-4. What do I do here? I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to let it trade through this channel and use Apple more as an indicator. What's the XPI doing? As the Qs break lower, I hope the XPI, something's hanging in there. All right, XPI was up $1.70. Now it's up $1.30. Still, nah. You know what I mean? Now, like I said here, this is in TradeGATEHub before. It's an important stat. Day trading mode's over. Next phase. Next phase is this. You get down this. You look at stocks in the TradeView stock sector. What's going on now? As the Qs are breaking lower, I go to top US gainers. I go to relative strength. What's the relative strength right now? BQ. Not interesting. Everything is small stocks. PASG. And you know what? If I'm not sure, I just punch it up here. Altimmune. These guys did a great job. You can always punch up every Altimmune. Punch up what's going on right next to the chart. Top losers. What's the top loser right now? Adaptech. So I punch up Adaptech right here. Unbelievable. Great. They did a great job on this. You obviously tailor to your likes. Let's go to a month on Adaptech. Nice chart. Let's go to what else is breaking low. Carvana. We punted. Look at the Carvana chart. My God. That shows you the dramatic thing. Jack, my nephew, don't be doing this. Don't be buying stocks from 370 to 280. Have a nice day. Okay. IOT's on the low list, but IOT's not moving. It's made its move. Any other questions in the trading room? Okay, let's go to more flow before we leave. But you guys have the public Twitter feed. If you don't, if you should, Apple puts, Apple bearish, hitting bearish. Apple, what's going on with Apple? All right, you know what I mean? Apple's, this is what I'm looking at Apple now. When it goes through my head and I look through a chart, I want to tell you what I think. Apple has a gap here. I don't like the fact that it's below every moving average. Like I said, the good thing is it's on low volume. And the good thing is it's making higher lows. Let's go to the weekly chart. This is at least what I think when I see this chart. Coach and Pearl sure makes him more like the Terminator when he sees a chart. This is the weekly. So we got some pressure here. You know, I'm not interested for Apple to an ad for this specific stock. Yeah, I need it higher. I'm more apt to buy it on a break low just because, you know, it's Apple. And then I am to, you know, have it break higher at this point. You know, I'm in. Let's look at something else that we're in. Microsoft. You know, let's look at our Google. Literally got the bottom on Google. All right, so I'm good here. I'm going to add to this. You know what I mean? It's outperforming. I'd like to see it hold its moving averages, and then I go to the weekly, and I see it's coming down on no volume. I'd like to go for it to go above this. You know, I want to see it above 260. I want to see it above 240, 2,400. And it's probably right around here. Yeah. And then it breaks the channel again. 2,400, I want to Google. Another fun stock. Let's go fun stocks if I can. Intel. All right, nice run. I added to it. Maybe I added a little bit too nicely. We have it nicely, but Intel I like best of breed long term. I think AMD is going to catch up to AMD. I'm not going to give it much if it goes below this. You know what? I'm going to reevaluate this. If it goes below this 43, I'm not going to give it that. You know what? This might be a reevaluation or a reduce. It might be reduce. Might be reduced for me. UVXY, a lot of VIX calls going off. I'm not gonna lie, but that's because of a Friday, and I think Apple's this news with Apple and Tesla might be it might have a little bit more macro effect on a Friday, a little protection, because I said at the beginning of the webcast, nothing really has changed. They've been taking good news very well, but they don't look to be doing it today that well. So you have to take it day by day. You have to evaluate on the pivots and the volume and all these fundamentals on principles on why these stocks are doing what they're doing at this specific day, both now, short swing trading and long-term. And, you know, depending on your style, if you're a long-term trader, you know, sometimes sometimes stocks work the best when you don't watch them. So, you know, put that aside. I watch them all the time. So that's my caveat, if you will. Okay, Kramer, a couple of things he's saying right now on the tape. And by the way, it's just an opinion. If you are selling the video because of Bitcoin concerns, you're not going to get it right. There's very little crypto in the numbers. I agree. And you know what? This is what goes to my head. Same with AMD. It says the same. AMD is AMD now, as opposed to NVIDIA. And AMD has been the better buy. It's probably because it's been better buy all technically. So AMD. Kramer's saying AMD might be up with SIG at the low of the day. So there's no smallpox concerned over the weekend. I'm just seeing. Or else SIGA would be going, I see. This is what I see. SIGA, low of the day. I'm looking what this guy's saying. Sunrise Trader, a friend of mine. I'm humbled. Here are a few things I do to prepare. By the way, guy's a player. He's got 100,000 followers and followed by everybody I know. Good dude. Here are a few things I do to prepare. I ask myself, what is the big picture? What are the current short-term conditions? We just went over that. What is the trend for the multiple time frames? We went over that. So, well, you know, the plan's not alone. Like I said, it's going to be harder if you're in this room, and I will leave it here. When you're in this room and you stick to the process, and like again, I didn't make up the process. I try to make it better. Over time, all you're going to have to work on, thankfully, is your fundamentals, which is yourself. You're not going to have a choice. You know, these things are going to come innately when CRWD reports. you'll know to look at Sentinel-1 or a green or a Z-scaler or a Fortinet or a PNW. So our job is to at least going over our videos and our maybe it does. We have 4501-ish. Gerard means 45 around there, give or take 4105, not exactly 4501 on the dot. You know, when I post a level like 4100, you know, if it goes to 4101, you know, we'll concede it that it's 4100. Watch AMD. Gerard, you trade AMD well. I'm not going to talk you off of trading AMD. It's something you trade well. Watch it. But I would like you to also know that maybe some other stocks that are in the group to trade directly with AMD. So you could start trading the group a little better, and then you can compound some of your gains instead of putting all that AMD money in there, because God forbid something happens with AMD. You know what I mean? A couple points. What was my point before that? I'll leave it at this. Green YouTube video. Like I said, you're not going to be short of stock selection. We're going to be pounding. I'll show you my screen every day. I post. I'm active. It's up to you to get down your own style and to know what you do best, and to take that information that I give you. You know what I mean? And go off from there, from your style. I'm trying to, give a lot of info predicated upon always the holy grail is the three things of stock with a range, price, action, volume. But whether it's up to short term, swing trading, or long term, it's up to you. But like I said, Coach and I are here to sit you at the table, but we want you to take it from there. So go over the videos. Like I said, this week was basically a little bit of a short story. There's still an ending to have, which is the end of the day here. So we're going to look at how Apple's acting because of the news, naturally because of Tesla, what Crude is doing, and we're going to go over and watch Coach's 9:30 video and see what he has up, and we'll be back with a plan after lunch. So thank you for everybody's time and being with us. We had great communication, best ever probably in the week, and I thank you as well. I hope you get better, and if not, we'll do better next time. So cheers. Thanks everyone. Jack, say hello to Mom. Love you.